everybody doing? You're welcome to unmute your mics if you want. You're welcome to open up your cams. There's no lock on that. Just don't be out of pocket, and we're good to go. You don't have to. You're not obligated, but you can. The Zoom link is on YouTube just for Wix's table, and if you want to hop on the Zoom, you can do that. You don't want to, you don't have to.
Hi, testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, awesome.
Mark. All right. What's up, Mark?
What's the deal?
What's the deal? All right. Hold on. Let me.
Anyway, it's great to see everybody. Great to say hi to everyone.
Awesome.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for coming through. All right. Hold on. Let me get some stuff out of the way. We have some potential. I don't know if it's going to set up now or a little later in the stream. The way it's looking like it's going to be after the 4-hour close, but we have a lot of potential. We'll see. I might even stay longer. Did I miss the Zoom? All right. Yeah. So there's no one else here. There's no chat. So this is just us, gang. Whoever the 37, 38 people that are at Wix's table, I think. Like 40 people, roughly. All right. Breakdown, gang. Daily closed bearish, right? We closed bearish on Friday. Closed bearish below this area, right? Everybody sees that. So the idea is we make a top wick come down to fill this wick on the daily. The 4-hour has closed bearish at resistance here, right? There's a resistance at this area. Oh, wait. Are we respecting it? I think we respected it. That's interesting. Might end up coming up. Hold on. Uh-oh. Hold on, gang. Give me a sec. My kids are here. I haven't seen my older one in a long time. Oh, the entire day. What are you eating? Banana bread that you made? Incredible. Well, you're getting crumbs all over my office. You know, when the roaches get here, I'm gonna call you to exterminate. Give me a hug. All right, yeah, sorry, my older daughter came back. She was out all day with her cousins and all that fun stuff. So we respected this resistance chat. We might end up coming up here. It's interesting. So I thought we closed bearish at resistance, but we closed bearish right above resistance, which means now support. We respected it. Right? See this level on the 4-hour? So it came out bullish. It did close bearish here, but it closed bearish respecting this. So no matter how far we come down, I think we're going to end up breaking the highs here. All right. The 1-hour is coming up above the 4-hour level. Let's get rid of it. We don't need it here. Okay, so we have a resistance. We have a resistance, we have a support. right? If so facto, we have a range. Oh shit, you scared me. All right. Resistance, support, we have a range. In this range, we're not going to trade. We're going to wait to get out of it. And let's jump onto the 5 minutes, see where we can take advantage of this range. And where do we get out of it? Technically, below here, sells are valid. Right? Below here, but I don't think I like these cells. I think I like the cells below here. Yeah. On the 5 minute, this seems to make the most sense. Okay. And look for closure below here on the 5 for cells. We'll see. Maybe we're going to look for a closure below here, but we might get a chance to sell before then if we get some strong bearish candles coming down, forming a range. Right, so if we come down from here like this, right, and form this range below these areas, or actually below these areas, right, if we end up coming back up, if we get something like this and we end up coming back up, this way we'll print new ranges, right, at this point. Come back up, close above here, and then you guys already see it. Come back down, close below. These are our off the rip sells to retest these lows and maybe get down further. Ideally though, I want the closure here. This is the closure that I want, right? Not the closure here, this. So that, because that's the cleanest range. But in order for us to get a trade in the range before that over here, we're going to need a pullback on a 5 minute or a higher time frame wick. And because of the way we close in the 4 hour, I think this is less likely to happen than buys tonight. And there's a lot of clean range for buys to the left here, right? You guys see the clean candles to the left. Everything is clean. Clean. So, where can we get buys? Let's go scroll left, see what happens here.
Hey Wix, can you hear me?
I hear you. Who's that?
It's Jack.
What's the deal, Jack?
I just messaged you earlier. How's it going?
Did you? I didn't see it. Or did I see it?
No, I said, you know, I was saying I just signed up.
Oh, alright. What's up?
Have you checked the daily? It's looking, you know, that closure, the same as the 4 hour. Check that level and go back on the daily. It looks like it's almost like going to be kind of big move out of that whole range it's been in. If you go back to
the way the daily closed here, we closed back in range to come down, but I don't think we're ready to come down. I think the daily for today has to make a top wick, which would be the reason we closed on the 4 hour here, respecting support. So you see this bearish closure? It's not a resistance.
I got you, but if you was to go back all the way to like July 2020, or do you not go back that far ever? Because it like came out, it respected it all perfectly for that closure from Friday.
Let's go back to when? July
around July 2020. It closed out and then it respected that level that the 4 hour closed on, and then it came up and tapped it exactly on that level. Look at that green wick.
I see what you're saying. But I also see that since July.
And then it went out and come back in. Once.
Since July in this area, we've created
There.
a range here, right? On the 5, we clear every order that was there in July over here. It was cleared
Cleared
out.
it out right out. Right, I got you.
And this is the daily, so it's stuck around here. If we go down to the small time frame, shit,
I see what you're saying, yeah.
But it see, this is the 4-hour. I go down even small to the hourly, and look what happens. It's gone through this range, drove through many times already.
I'm with you. So it's sort of irrelevant by now.
It's not irrelevant. You can kind of see what happens. But
Less,
if let's say you do start ranging there, or you do start hitting a resistance there or support at that area, you can probably go back that far in time and be like, all right, that's why. But I wouldn't consider it as something that I'm going to play off for now.
Yeah,
play off the levels that have been created after that, because I think a lot of those orders have been cleared out. Now we have some new ranges created here. Maybe you want to do a study of historical price data, but you don't want to study fucking 2020 in relation
back to the Stone Age.
2023. Yeah.
I gotta be honest, guys. Sometimes the way you all draw the levels just amaze me, because sometimes I just get lost with it.
It's experience, right? It used to amaze me too when I was just starting. I'd be like, what the fuck are they draw? Like, how do they see what? Like, I'd look at Ted and like, this is going back years, and where he was probably just like, where he was really, you know, just got to autopilot, and he was rolling, and I was just looking at it. I just wouldn't see the things that he was seeing, or a couple other people were seeing. But now it's like they speak, and it's like, oh, all right, I can. It's not even that they speak. I've paid attention to how they trade, and I look for the nuances, like where's the tell sign here? What exactly are people looking for?
And then you make it make sense to yourself.
And then it makes sense. People can't explain it. You have to see it in action. That's why I'm not a big believer in boot camp, and that's why I really like the fact that Don is going to be trading live during his boot camp with everybody, not just come in and talk about do a PowerPoint and that's it. I mean, anybody can do a PowerPoint, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
There's a lot of value behind actually trading and watching somebody trade. When I started, nobody would trade in front of you. People would just tell you, oh, then we'll do a trading class maybe once a week or but you never see people execute, and it was really hard. Right now, you just see people execute, and you can pick up more on the way people execute than whatever they tell you about a strategy.
Absolutely.
They could tell you, oh, the market goes up here, then you fake out, then you come back down range, and this is your entry. When the market's actually playing around, you're like, fuck, so where's the entry?
It doesn't even interpret like that when it actually happens, does it? Like if you was just to look at someone explaining it in their way, and then you see it, you never
be like,
get it how they're reading
that's what he
it.
meant. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if you all notice, I mean, most of the people, when they teach support and resistance, they say, okay, price hits this line and breaks down and retraces back. That's when you get in on the setup.
A lot of people also... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just a lot of people might have learned something, but they're just unable to teach the topic or unable to speak on it. Or maybe they're not a good orator, right? Or like, it's just different. And
or maybe they haven't even learned it enough themselves, like truly, at that point.
Yeah. They're just trying to make some money off of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should be like selling a strategy that they've learned. They should be really showing people what they do based on what they've learned, because you really can't teach a strategy. I'm telling you, you guys won't be looking at the same things all the time. You're not going to be looking. I can show you what I'm looking for, and you can try to sort of feel out the nuances. I try to do my best to actually, clarify, make it clear as possible, but I understand that, like, what I was seeing in the charts is not what the guy that was showing me what he's doing, what he was seeing, but I was kind of interpreting it in my own way. And
especially with scalping as well, because you're in and out so quick.
Yeah, a lot of people
you're reading something.
People looking at the chart, and their eyes aren't really like focusing on the same part of the candles or the same range or the same idea that I am, right? You'll be looking at the same thing, but you're focusing on like a space of
On the
15
money.
candles. I'm focusing on a small range of a half-hour wick, right? It just it's very hard to train your eye to focus on what's relevant and ignore what's irrelevant. Because you try to interpret everything, and not everything is relevant. It's just,
That's the one.
I don't know, patience and watching these things play out, watching positions, taking positions.
So, what's your best advice, Wix, for somebody to really learn this really well?
Drop the ego. I don't care what you've done in your previous life. You could be a rocket scientist. You could be coming in here as a surgeon, a cop, whatever it is, right? Drop the ego, because this shit will humble you real quick. And if you can approach that with no ego and be like, all right, like, the reason I took this loss is me, and I really messed up here. Now I got to figure out why I messed up, or come in here really going, yeah, I got money, but I'm not gonna, spend it learning, or I'm not gonna try to become rich here. I'm gonna try to actually learn the craft. But nobody comes into this like that. I don't know any single person that's walked into this with that
See, the
mindset.
thing about it is, I like the process of it. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, this to me, I don't want to gamble. If I wanted to gamble, I'd go to my local casino and do that.
I enjoy the process as well. Like, I enjoy the fact being able to say, like, I could trade, right? I could do this. I love this process. I'm good at it. It's a very unique skill to possess.
Wild ride.
Wild ride, yeah. It's a long ride. It's a unique skill to possess, but it's like, once you possess this skill, this is your bottom line. Your life can never get worse than this.
Did you find that since you've been trading, you've learned like so much other crap about the way you look at life, or not massively, but certain things? You can see it from a different aspect.
I can see why the ideas I've learned, like,
Yeah.
that like I don't utilize today, but I can see why they would work. I can see the idea of at where someone might have picked up on something that this could work. And I also realize that a lot of people that are applying these concepts are just applying them wrong, are applying irrelevant concepts with relevant concepts. And it's hard to teach, hard to explain it to somebody who hasn't been through every single one of those concepts and then see people utilizing them or trying to. I don't even go into it. I don't even tell people, hey, use this, don't use that, don't look at this, because like,
no end to
it's
it.
like going into the gym and telling people how to do a chest press, right? And like, nobody wants to hear you tell them how to work out. But when people ask, I'll gladly explain. But like, I was with Don, like, we were on the phone, we were looking at somebody else trading or streaming, and like, they got an audience, and we were just like, yo, can you believe that
Cringing.
this, like, no, that this is being taught, and there's a bunch of people listening to this, like, it's holy. And for me and Don, like, we're just not gonna say anything. Like, it is what it is, right? At some point, they got to realize they're on the wrong track. Because it wasn't a bad concept being taught. It was just completely being mistaught. It was completely being misapplied, and it's like, no, no.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I nearly got caught out with that when I first got into it. To be fair, well, those there's like options trading, but they must just get paid by the broker to like advert stupid videos on YouTube. Like, I turn this many dollars into that, all that type of stuff, and it nearly got me. And I thought, nah, this is not real. Whatever this bloke's doing, it's almost like the exchange or the broker pays him to. Well, it is, isn't it? That's what's going on.
They do, yeah. I get a lot of emails from brokers, from funding companies to like do a video for them and stuff for like a few thousand.
But here's the way I look at it. Maybe I'm looking at it
quick cash,
wrong.
but I'm just not gonna put my name behind something.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
way I
Unless I've
look at it,
tested
maybe
it
I'm
out.
looking at it wrong, is that, if you follow everything that everybody's teaching out there, 90% of the traders fail.
Yeah.
So 90% of the shit that's going on out there that's being taught is wrong.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
being taught is wrong, but I'm not telling you what I'm doing is right. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, and I've been pretty profitable with
no. I mean, it's like you and Don always say, though. make it make sense.
Yeah,
Make it make sense to you, and you all do it.
yeah. Once it makes sense, like you got to be logical here. You got to be unemotional, logical.
And that's what I like about it. It's, it's very straightforward. It's very organic. You don't have a bunch of indicators trying to look important on your screen, not knowing how to read any of them.
It used to be fun. I used to whip out my laptop back like 4 years ago and have like eight indicators. You couldn't see the candles. There would be like a small line of candles lying across everything else, like RSI.
Look like a clown threw up on your chart.
When you
It
go
looked
back to
crazy.
the daily, it's just like a barcode hot sideways.
And then people would look at it and be like, "Holy shit, what do you do?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I do
Mathematician.
Forex." Meanwhile, I was like losing massive amounts of money. I
Right.
trade. No, I gamble. I try to look important. Yeah. We got this 4 hour. We're gonna break the previous 4 hour high for a celery play to come up. See, there's an area here on the 4 hour as well, which falls in line with our 5-minute level. So we close above there on the 5. Guess what?
Should be good for a little
We
bit.
should be good, but we're not gonna go off the rip.
No.
There's no off the rip buys here. First of all, we're against the daily bias. Second of all, for us to drive here, I'm gonna look for these wicks to come back down. We're gonna need to come back down to like 2015, 2014 areas, 2016 areas. I'm gonna come back down to either these wicks, these just to grab liquidity anywhere across this line on the next hour. So here's the thing: we're 30 minutes away from the 4-hour close. Once the 4-hour close is above here, we're gonna expect the next 4 hour to pull back, right? Create a bottom wick and drive off of a support, right? We want to grab liquidity to have more confidence in the candle. So if this candle closes like this on the hourly and the 4-hour above our range, right? And this little wick right here, all that means is right here. It just means there's a 5-minute range there. And the 5-minute played out, and now you're going to need the bottom wick for the next candle, right? It comes down here. Before it drives up, there's a 5-minute range here. So from here to here is going to be a range we're going to avoid. And then anything above this area, we're going to take up. But first, we need to see the hourly, the 4-hour close. Unless the 30-minute drives up here in the next minute and a half, closes above here. Until then, if it doesn't happen, it's looking like you're going to have 30 minutes here to hang out. Once the hourly closes, the 4-hour closes, but we should see some 5-minute, even the 4-hour, the 1-hour. Oh shit, we're driving up. We might even get a disclosure in a minute. But yeah, the way the 4 hours forming here, and if it does come up, even though it might not close above here. At some point, the 5-minute will close above here, right? And that's the 5-minute that you don't trade. Oh, wait. At some point in the next half hour, it's quite possible that this happens, right? This is the 5-minute we don't trade. I'm gonna wait for a pullback.
Because you're anticipating that wick anyway.
I'm anticipating a top wick on this candle, which means I'm anticipating a pullback. So why would I take a buy anticipating a pullback, right? Before this hourly closes, right? Because we need the hourly and the 4-hour to have a top wick in order to understand that we have 5-minute range to continue heading up.
Yeah.
Right, because the hourly wicks, 4-hour wick, higher time frame wicks are just smaller time frame ranges. So if we do close above here on the hourly, as we're driving up here, right? As we're driving up, we don't know where it's going to top out. So why take a buy? If the 5-minute closes here, we don't know if this is where the hourly tops out, and it might continue going up, or it just might pull back and leave you a wick.
And going off of what you just looked back on, it looks like it'll probably pull back to that bit before
and the idea will be once it does come up and close above here on the 5, it'll start creating this range coming down. Remember I said 2016, 2016, 2015, 2014 areas. So we want to see this this play out like this, right? If this happens, this is just the next hourly. If this is the 5, this is just the next hourly bottom wick here.
We can start sitting forward a bit in the chair by that point.
Right. This is just going to be this wick for the next hourly. Oh, whoops, lower. Oh, God damn it. It's going to be the wick, and then this is going to be our position as we close back above here on the higher time frame. So on the 5, you'll see this, right? And then over here, it'll be off the rip to fill this candle. We're going to look to fill this one clean candle to the left.
So when you do your thing that you call a pineapple. Sorry.
Yeah, the goal here is really just to, with a high degree of probability, to predict the volume candle. I say it all the time, but the volume candle will be after that pullback to fill this range. That's the high degree of probability candle that you're just going to drive on. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, when you do your sort of like pineapple setup, like you call it, is that what you're sort of looking at after you've already got a valid entry, if that then happens? Not for the first.
So pineapples, a lot of the times pineapples will happen with the daily bias, because we'll expect the candle to drive and we'll take an entry as it closed below the range. It already has a top wick, let's say on the 30, and it doesn't drive, right? So let's say we do close, we have our bearish daily bias, so let's say we do end up coming down here and closing below this area, right? And let's say that this 5-minute close happens at like 9:05, and this is the 5-minute candle, right? So now it's grabbed liquidity. It's not really about what the candle's forming, it's really about what areas the price taps. And look, before it drove down here previously, price taps that area, right? These wicks, and it really sends the price flying down here. So if this forms here on the 5, you're taking this off the rip, right? If this is like 9:05, the hourly's closed, but now the first 5-minute candle has given you this wick, it's really giving you high volume. But it doesn't drive, right? So now you got an entry right here. Doesn't drive, even though it's a higher degree of probability that it should drive on this candle. But it doesn't always happen. And let's say you pull back in range, right? Now you're in drawdown, right? But the fact that you're in drawdown doesn't mean that you're behind in a trade. You're only behind in a trade once your stop levels are hit, or if you start closing on a higher time frame against your bias or against your sell here, you start closing bullish, and you start closing bullish back in this range, right? Until then, your stops will be right here. Until then, your stops would be here. But if you start closing bullish above this area, then you have an indication that you're going to continue heading up, and you can manage risk. But if you don't close bullish over there, and continue up here, right? If this is what happens, and you continue up here, but you never close over here, you close at this area, and the very next candle comes down, this is where you get your pineapples, right? When the next candle comes down below this area right here. So now you're back into this range from here to here, and the idea here is the fake out, and now it's the same, I guess, idea for the sells, but a different trade, and this is the pineapples here, just adding a position to fill this range and also the runners. So now what happens here, you have this position here that as soon as you come down to this area, you close out and you're in profit. So this will be a break-even position, or if it's really running strong, you could let it rock and go break even on it, right? But the idea is really to make the money on this position that just retested the lows. Now you're ahead, you can put stops in profit and let it run.
I see. So when that plays out, that will look like a flip on a 30 or something. Do you ever take it on the flip of that, or do you always wait for the 5 closure?
I can. We do take it. Honestly, I take it during a high volume time, so it's really volatile Asian session or New York session.
Yeah.
I can take that off the higher time frame if there's clean, just no support there at all to hit. clean
Because
levels.
I think I notice you doing that sometimes when Dom waits for the 5 closure. I think occasionally I've seen you lock in for that flip.
I lock in for the flip, but I would say this: Don takes the flip way more than I do. I'll more often wait for the 5 close, where he'll actually wait for a flip, and a lot of times it can happen within a 5-10 minute period of each other. So a lot of times you'll notice our positions have like a 5-minute candle difference. I'll take a trade, and like 5 minutes later he's activated, or he'll take a trade and 5 minutes later I get that closure and I'm activated. It's very funny. A lot of times you will have the same position running on signals and the stream, but completely irrelevant of each other, taken on different 5-minute candles, but the same breakdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. And that's the beauty of it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just it's not identical, but we see the very similar things. Our
So you're saying you like the confirmation better, Wicks?
It's not really. It's really comfort level. It's not really just confirmations. It's just comfort level. Sometimes I'm comfortable with what Don does, and I actually like 95% of the time I'm comfortable with what he does. I don't remember last time I disagreed with what he does.
Yeah, it's just that everybody sees it differently. You have to see it too. You know, you have to see it. Once you see it, you get it. You know?
And he doesn't automatically take a position that I'm comfortable in. I can suggest to him, and he'll take it in his own way. You know, a lot of time you'll see it on New York streams. Like we'll look at the same thing, but we'll kind of take it a little bit differently. But overall, because it's the same, very similar breakdown. It's not the same, but very similar. We're like, our stats are very similar.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes go to break even sooner. Sometimes you'll take a little more in profit. Sometimes, you know, it's whatever you feel is.
Yeah. So yeah, Friday's trade right there, Casino. If I Friday's trade, you were in before dawn. I had a 20 pip better entry. But so I got a closure back in range, right? So for me, it was that pineapple, that second entry that I just showed you on the pineapples, right?
Yeah.
But so. Right, it was the entry right here as soon as this candle closed back in range. For Don,
I got in and out 3
for
times
Don,
in that.
because the next candle came down, made a small bottom wick, and then came up. For Don, it was the break of the lows as it started coming down. So you see how he took the flip, or he took the break of the flip and the break of the lows here, while I was in off the rip on this candle, because I really had high confidence that with the daily bias and us closing back in range on the fake out, that we were just gonna. I thought we weren't even gonna make that top wick. We were just gonna drive straight down, but he waited for that top wick, and I sat through like
a bit worse entry, didn't it?
I sat through like 3-4 pips of drawdown. Honestly, like 5. It was like literally nothing. But yeah, I ended up getting like a 20 pip better entry than him.
Yeah, I took that exactly the same as you just explained, to be fair.
But it doesn't always, like a lot of times he'll have a better entry. It's like, it's very similar. So that flip might come before the close. It's just on Friday, that close came before the flip. It can happen.
Plus the spreads change too. Like if you take a 2-minute entry, 3 minutes, spreads could change by that too, right?
Oh yeah, spreads could jump. Anything can happen. You might get slipped based on the volume coming in.
Exactly.
I got slipped on that in the end. It was so annoying. I went break even, and whatever, got slipped out of it, and then it dropped all them 40 pips or whatever it went to.
Sound like every single day trading for me when I just started trading. I really cared about slippage, but I realize now it's irrelevant in the long term. Like whatever,
Yeah,
slippage happens, but if your breakdown's right, your breakdown's right. Next time you take that trade, you're gonna win. Do it 100 times, you're not gonna remember any slippage that happened.
Exactly.
All right, guys, question. Y'all have probably heard this 1,000 times, but I haven't from you all. What about funded trading?
What about it?
Is it good or bad?
If you can trade and you don't have capital, but you've learned the craft, it's good.
Funded trade is good if you can stick to the rules and learn. It's good in a way because
I think
you
I'll do a
can put
video on
200.
this.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
a
You
video
could
on
put
this one.
$200 on. You know, you could buy a 25K challenge for 200 and trade like you got 25K and practice your risk to reward, everything that, you know, not risk to reward, but, you know, practice all your rules, all your strategy. And then, you know, if you lose it, you lose $200. You're not
Here,
losing
here,
25K.
here's what I think. I think the fact that they have rules sucks because most new traders won't follow rules. But I think the rules that they do have in place are solid. Like, I think they instill like good habits. Those rules are actually good habits. Whatever rules the funding challenges are, right? It's not over risking, not over trading, just finding that balance. But it's terrible for a new trader because that's how they get you. You can't follow
Yeah.
those rules.
Yeah.
But
I
think
failed 20 of them probably
damn.
before I passed one.
I think I want to really do a video on this. If I was gonna do it, I would do it for the cheapest amount. Do like the 10K challenge, right? Do that. What do you have? 10 days for each evaluation phase. So you're doing 20 days. You're done, right?
You got 30. Yeah, you got 30. But some of them,
No, but
if you do it in
I
one day,
think
you could do it in one day.
I think
2
yeah, but you
days.
need 10 days. I think within 10 days, it shouldn't be
Yeah,
hard.
minimum 10
So-
days sometimes.
So it shouldn't be hard, right? Within 10 days, that's 20 trading days. That's that's about a month, right? You spend a month getting your 10K funded, right? Once you're funded 10K, how much is a $100,000 challenge?
100,000 is usually 500 on
500.
FTMO
So
is about
that's
500.
5%. That's like verification stage 2, right? 5%. So think about it. You get 5% probably within a week once you're funded on 10K. If you don't get it within a week, maybe 2 weeks at most.
Yeah.
So just based on whatever numbers we do here, but at the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, within the first month. Let's say you spend another month, you get $500. Yo, that's within a month. Within 2 months, I think within 6 weeks, that's you have $500 to buy the 100K challenge. I think again, you spend another 20 days. Within 3 months, you could be funded without breaking any rules, without stressing, and doing it at normal pace, right? Without trying to smash an account. Within 3 months, you should be trading a 100K challenge without ever buying one, without ever paying for one, just by buying a 10K challenge.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just got my 200 on Thursday. I went from 50 to 100 to 200.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
I think you muted yourself, Wix.
You can't hear me? You can hear me.
No, oh, you cut out for a second. Sorry, you still was talking. Your mouth was going on the video.
Oh, it's the delay.
If you're watching on YouTube, it's because there's a small delay on YouTube. It's live, but it's like 3-4 second delay.
Sorry,
That's why I tell people if you got Zoom access, even throughout the week, like watch on Zoom, but like you'll get better entries.
You get a better entry.
Yeah,
yeah.
If you're on the Zoom. It's not that much better. Sometimes it's like a 1 or 2 second delay. But
it is in the UK. It's a good 6 seconds, and that 6 seconds feels like a lifetime when it.
Is it? Is it 6 seconds? That's crazy. That's
it's like watching a Japanese movie being interpreted.
So I can see what the delay is here, like on my YouTube. Hold on, let's check this out. I'll tell you what the
Probably
delay
like
is.
a couple seconds.
I think it's also because for me personally, I put it through the PS5. I think there's a bit extra on top.
Oh yeah.
On that.
Yeah, it might, because there's servers.
All right, so let's do this. Raise
On my
hand.
Zoom at home, they got my real name
1,
out there.
2, 3 seconds.
There you go.
Yeah, I got 3. I got 4.1 coming through over here.
Almost finished my
Hey, we
phase 1.
was just sitting there talking about funded challenges a few minutes ago. There was a trading group here a couple of weeks ago, and they all took the same setup. And FTMO, they got a restriction about trade copiers or something. I don't know the exact terminology, but they all took the same trade, and it cost FTMO $500,000, but they didn't pay out because they said they were all linked to a trade copier, and they denied the trades, closed their accounts and everything.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, did they have a trade copy? Or was it executed all at the same price, or was?
Yeah, well, it was the same setup. They all learned the same way. It's a trading group that you can go
Yeah, but
join for so much a month.
There's hundreds of
ways
people
around
that take our trades and they pass challenges together. I mean, the way I see this is like only if they had every trade the same. Let's say they all
Yeah.
did the challenge and let's say they needed 5 trades to pass it and all 5 trades were identical, same level, same. But like if one trade, or maybe if one trade passed everybody's challenge, then yeah, it's a big.
You know what I don't understand is that some of them allow you to trade copy in
Yeah, some of
to
them
their
allow,
account,
some
but not
don't.
out. But not out. Like you can't run a trade copier from their broker to other ones, but you can run one from into them. It's just weird. I've been noticing that lately. Like I don't know what the difference is, but like yeah, there's a lot of rules. That's the thing. That's another one thing when you're doing a challenge and you're getting funded and stuff. You got to read every little fine print of the rules. Like I don't like my forex funds because they run an equity based. So if I make 4% in one day and then I lose 5% that same day, I lose my account with my forex funds. When I'm only down 1% of my account because I made 4% that day.
Yeah.
With FTMO,
It's not like that
I
with
could
FTMO.
go down.
I know it's not like that.
FTMO, I can go down 9% that day. If I make 4%, I can lose not 4% plus my 5%.
Yeah, it's what you started the day with.
Exactly. So, just that equity-based shit, I stay away from. The equity-based accounts.
Yeah, I don't think it should ever be an issue. You should never lose more than like 5% in a day. Like you can't.
Exactly. You shouldn't. You just stop trading. You know what I mean? If you lose 3-4%, you stop trading. Anyway,
I've lost maybe 3.5% in a day over a span of 2 trades, or 4% in a day. In the last, I'm talking about since like I've been consistent and profitable. I'd say in the last year and a half, maybe 4%, 4.5% in a day, at most, through losing 2 or 3 trades in a row.
Yeah.
I think like last summer we had 3 trades lost in a row, but and it wasn't in one day. It was over a course of 2 days.
Some people just keep going at it because they don't want to accept the loss. You know, sometimes you lose, you just gotta come back the next day.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think
that.
about it. You have an account to lose, right? You're not losing. Like you just put in money and there's an account behind it. It's not like, oh, you lost 5% or 6%. No, you lose 6%, you lost everything.
Yeah.
So, it just risk. That's why I say, on funded accounts, you have to lower the risk by half from what you would normally risk in your live accounts, just to account for that loss and still having some wiggle room for another 2.5%. You know, you lose 2.5%, some wiggle room for another 2.5%.
I like funded accounts because it's almost like it's not my money. So the psychological part there, like
you're not storing hundreds of thousands in somebody else's brokerage.
It's better.
Money. You're storing their money.
Yeah, exactly. Like psychological part for me, it's so much easier to take trades than if I had that money in there. It'd be a lot different, I think.
Yeah, well, you'd rather have that money in.
Yeah, you're right. You get all the profits.
Not being nosy or anything, but is that your only source of income?
No, I have. Oh, me? No, I work full time.
Okay, that's another reason it don't bother you either.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do?
It's just I do roofing, commercial roofing.
All right, not bad. That's a good job.
Yeah, man.
That pays.
Yeah, it's me. It's Bowser. They just got my real name on here. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. I've been
so do you work during Eastern time?
Yes, I work during the day. I'm on when they're live with Dawn. I'm just driving around and on my phone. Yeah.
Really? So you're able to execute trades too?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I could trade both ways. At home, I trade like London sessions, and Asia I'll do at home. But New York, I take less trades, but I can still do on my phone. I'm like Don, I could trade on my phone better than a computer. Not better, but I could do on my phone. I started on my phone. That's why I could do both.
So do you ever sleep?
I do sleep 5 hours, 6 hours a night, but I've been doing that for years. You know, I'm almost 40. I'm 42 now, so I've been used to waking up 4 or 5 in the morning for a long time.
I said I'm almost 40, 42 actually.
I'm almost 43. I was gonna say 43, almost 42. I'm like, nah, I'm 42. I'm still 42.
Yeah, I forget my age all the time.
42. You're 42 and a half.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I have a house, I have kids, you know, I've been working my whole life. I can't just trade full time, like try to trade full time. I have to do it slow, and it's gonna take me longer because, you know, I have responsibilities and like I already have stuff going with my work, so I have to like ease out of it. But yeah, I've been doing it for a couple years now, so
You have the
it's
priorities.
getting easier. Yeah, I got the priorities to make sure I have that income, you know.
Sounds like you got it going on, brother.
Try it, man. I've been trying for a long time. Trust me, it wasn't always easy, man. It's been years. I started 2020 and I did the crypto in the beginning, and Forex I've been doing for about a year, a little over a year.
Guys, I started off with binary options. That's the same thing. That's the same thing as Forex, but you do it on a time frame of 5 to 15 minutes.
You're not to lose some money. That.
Yeah, you're not even counting pips. You're just betting where the price is going to go up or down.
I've heard of it. I just never looked into it.
It's a carnival game, basically. You're trading support and resistance, or you can trade the strat, you know, the indicators or whatever. But that's the only thing he was doing was betting on whether the price was going to go up or down. And that's what you did. I actually got lucky one time, and I won $15,000. And then it was just like going to a casino. I got all cocky, and I said, "All right, I can do this every day."
Yeah. Yeah, I got lucky on one crypto once. I put $1,000 on it for it was a pre-sale, and like 2 weeks later it got launched, and I'm like, oh, let me check this thing, see how it's doing. I had 15 grand in there,
Yeah.
and it went up to 18 grand, and I seen it coming down. And this was after Bitcoin had already peaked, and I lost a bunch of money. So I was like, as soon as this thing starts dropping, I'm selling, and I took it all. I got it all. I got all 18,000 out of that 1,000.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. But I was all bull during the crypto bull run. I was all, oh, I'm gonna be rich. This stuff's gonna go up forever. I was one of those. Don't get me wrong. That's how I learned. Like it was not good. Being greedy.
That's exactly how I got in as well.
Yep.
The end
I think that's how
run.
everybody starts. I think everybody starts with the greedy side to them.
Yeah, it depends. If you start in a bull market, you're gonna get greedy. If you start in a bear market, then you have more time to be greedy, I guess.
I don't think anyone starts in a bear market. I think everyone just
right. You're right.
hops
You're
onto
right.
the
You're
wave.
right.
Oh shit, it's going up. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Let's jump in. You're right.
I think that can be a good factor as how you perceive or how you take that journey to whether you continue or not. You know, because a lot of people just done it, got clapped out, lost a load of money, and thought, "Fuck that." But then other people have seen some potential that if they get in there and understand it, see what happens.
Yeah, once they understand it, they can ride it both up and down. That's the trick. You just gotta, like, it's just like anything else, you know, you gotta sell. You're up 20%, 30%, 15%, take some money. Nobody goes broke taking profit.
You got to pay yourself.
You gotta pay yourself. That's how it is. Same with this. You're up 10 pips, 20 pips, take some money. Leave a runner. You know, it's how it is.
Do you guys ever dream about this stuff?
Not yet.
I used to.
Oh my gosh, I used to dream about this so much. It's crazy.
I don't dream, period.
Yeah. I still wake up, first thing I look at is my phone, you know, I'm still on one of those, you know, I wake up, look at my phone, look at the market. That's all I want to look at though. It's not that I'm addicted. It's just I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to watch TV. Nothing entertains me anymore, you know, even if I'm not trading, I just don't want to look at anything else.
Yeah.
You know? Don't. For entertainment, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll go places and do stuff, but if I'm gonna watch something, I want to watch the chart.
Well, that's the thing, you know, all my buddies that I know, all of them want to look at porn or whatever on the internet. I want to go into trading and look at charts.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care nothing about that. I want to see the charts.
I don't touch the chart. I haven't looked at the charts at all until I came on here at like 8 o'clock.
Really?
I don't.
Yeah.
And then,
Actually I like the weekends because everything's closed. So I'm just, it's like a break, you know, like a mental
you have no
break. Like,
choice.
ooh,
Yes.
you have no choice.
I remember when
Good.
we just started streaming in 2001. Don's stream was just filled with everyone trading Bitcoin on Friday evening. Like, so you guys aren't gonna stream this evening? No. All right, how about that Bitcoin?
Yeah.
So that running joke. Like, hey, Friday, 5 p.m. Switch the charts to Bitcoin.
I know. The only thing that moves, and that's the thing about FTMO, you could trade Bitcoin on the weekends and stuff with your challenges, but just they give you a big spread. But it moves enough to make some money if you know what you're doing. You can make some money still, even with a big spread.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of Bitcoin trading.
I mean, I remember the bottom. I remember the day that 15,000 came down, and I still remember all that stuff. And I'm like, damn, went up to 30,000. Could have doubled, but I switched to Forex by then. Can't do
Have any
too
of you
much.
guys ever tried futures?
Yeah, I'm dabbling a little bit into futures now. Like, not dabbling, I'm learning about it and stuff. It's kind of like the same thing. It's just you got to use different platforms, like Trade of 8 and Apex. They have funded accounts for futures now too.
Huh.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, you got your NAS 100, and you got what is it? ES. You got NQ. You got S&P 500 is the regular chart, and then you got the ES is the futures chart. So like, the futures chart doesn't move till New York volume time. That's when it starts moving. But you can use the S&P off market chart to kind of like judge where it might go when it opens, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Same with NQ is I think NAS 100.
Now, don't you buy contracts?
Well, there's futures is futures, and then you got the contract trading, which is your options.
All right.
Yeah.
We got 3 minutes here. Let's see if we can come up here.
I like it now. I got you on my big screen. I can see your chart there. That looks cool.
Look cooler if we get these closures.
Right. Let's see, 9 o'clock in 3 minutes. What's that, the new 4 hour, right?
Yep.
3 minutes. Yeah, I had to learn, man. I had to learn patience. I had to learn how to not overtrade, because I learned how to trade on the 1 minute chart. So I've like watched the 1 minute chart for like 2 years straight.
Was you an SMC trader?
I don't know, man. I'm an everything trader, honestly. I've picked up little things along the way that have just stuck with me, and like it allows me to see the chart a little bit better, and you know, I just stick to one. I pull one little thing from everything I like, and I just have it in my own little system.
Oh, okay.
But gold's a different beast, you know. It respects support and resistance. It's a different animal. So the way the Wix and Don are trading gold is good. It's a good strategy.
What up, Dollar? You know you can hop on Zoom. It's open for you. It's open for everyone today.
I forgot to change my name on my Zoom at home.
Yeah, you got your government on there.
And then
How much does your trading setup cost in total? Well, I'll show you the most expensive part of my setup. The Walmart keyboard.
The Walmart keyboard.
I love it because it's wireless. So it's like a, I don't know, free keyboard.
Like typing on a 5-year-old iPhone, you type, and then 5 seconds later, the letters come up.
The PC right here. This lizard tank. Shit was, I don't know, like.
Oh, what was up with it?
36, 30.
I really thought you had a lizard tank.
The
I
liquid
didn't know that.
cooler. This I had a different cooler before. It's over here. I'll show you.
What, and that just packed up and then it overheated?
Yeah. Sorry, I just rolled the joint.
Yeah, those liquid coolers, the
See,
lines like
it's-
feed the thing, the
See,
plate.
so this is the
keep
old
it
cooler. And what happened was this part right here, the pump stopped working. And it wouldn't like it, cold, it would get really hot because cold
It's
air,
not flowing.
cold water wouldn't flow out of it. You could feel
Yeah.
one of these cords hot, the other one cold, but the hot one should stay hot throughout the cord, but it would just be hot on one end and cold on the other. So I bought a new liquid cooler, and then after I bought the liquid cooler, I bought a fucking shitload of fans, and now I got like, I don't know. I bought new fans. I had nothing but exhaust fans, but now I have fans blowing in there.
Are you gonna take off?
Oh, yeah,
Plus, you're in
for-
Florida too. It's not like it's cool down there. You
No,
know?
but it's right now. This thing is at 30 degrees. When I had it before this liquid cooler, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Like, see this shit in the middle? Right there, that before that cooler, this white one right here. That's where the black one used to be on top. Now, this white one now keeps it at 30 degrees. The other one, the black one I just showed you that I took out, used to keep it at like 50. And then I added these fans on the bottom right there, if you see. I just added those this
Nice.
weekend. I called the guy that did the liquid cooler for me, and I was like, "Yeah, I just bought more fans, added them." He's like, "You know, at this point, you don't need them. Those are, at this point, it's just cosmetics." I was like, "Word? How do I get 20 more fans in there? How do I get more RGB?"
Gonna be the first glass hovercraft.
He's like, "You put any more fans in there, it's gonna float." Yeah, it's cool. So the PC cost me like 3,800 like 2 years ago, year and a half ago. And then I bought 3 screens, and 3 screens cost me like $200 each. That's it. Alright, we had our 4-hour close, right? Never closed above any of our ranges, so we still wait. Still need the, because we're in this 5-minute range. It hasn't gone anywhere. So we closed above the most recent 4-hour level, but not above the overall 4-hour level here at 29.5, 2019.57.6, and we never broke this previous 4-hour wick, right? Previous 4-hour high, closed bullish, but never broke that wick here. So let's see, coming down strong. It's a liquidity grab, or are we gonna come down and retest the lows with the daily? We made a steeper wick here. The daily started off with a top wick, came down, now then came back up, made a steeper wick. We're going to continue heading down. We're going to need some closures below this area, regardless. Need some closures below 2011.67. Yo, what's the score for the Panthers Maple Leafs game? Give me a second, chat. I want to see the score for this. Oh, it's 2-2, 2 minutes to go. I don't know if Don's not at the game. This game's here in Florida. I know Don is going crazy right now.
Actually missing one.
What was that?
Wasn't it something they wouldn't let him fly or something?
No, it's just in Florida. They're not letting any Maple Leaf fans buy tickets.
Oh.
So you can't be from You have to be from the United States. You have to be from here to get
To
tickets.
buy a ticket.
You can't be a Canadian
shit.
citizen. And the thing is, because in Florida, there's a lot of snowbirds. like a lot. There's so many people from Toronto, so many people from Montreal, from Quebec, and like
So
right
they
now,
don't want
right?
to overload it.
It's Snowbird season 2, right? Like it's ending, but they know there's a shitload of Canadians in Miami right now. So if they open
Snowbird
it up,
season.
like they're gonna sell out, and it's gonna be like a Maple Leafs fucking.
I get what you're saying.
It's gonna be a road
That's
game for the
smart.
Panthers at home, so they don't want that.
Wow.
That's kind of
crazy.
shitty, though.
That's crazy. That's crazy. They gotta go that far, you know?
Well,
That's
they don't have to
crazy.
go far. A lot of them, like I said, a lot of them they're in Miami. They own property in Miami. There's a lot of snowbirds here. They just
Yeah.
every winter they're here. Every summer they're back in Canada. But yeah, if they sold tickets and allowed Canadians, there would be a lot more Maple Leafs fans than Panthers fans.
Yeah.
Panther Stadium.
Yeah.
Because you know, Floridians aren't really like hockey crazy, but the Canadians are, so they'll go to the game.
Yeah, yeah. They'll
I'm
travel.
going to Miami Beach to teach in person. Can you come to Toronto to teach in person? I'm not gonna come to Toronto to teach in person, but we can do a meetup next time in Toronto. I haven't been in Toronto in like a decade.
Yeah, yesterday was the Kentucky Derby here. I live in Louisville, Kentucky, and
Oh, who won
it
that?
was crazy.
Yeah, I watched that for a bit.
I think last time I heard about that, it was that horse that won.
It's always a horse.
Yeah, it's always it was the one that won, like, I don't know, like the
Three-legged
third
one.
time. Yeah, it's the three-legged horse.
So you're telling me it wasn't the rabbit?
It was like a triple, what is it called? A
And the Triple
trifecta or
Crown.
something?
The
When
Triple Crown.
Trifecta,
Triple
yeah.
crown, yeah, triple crown.
Knuckles blow here.
You can get paid on those horse races, man, if you pick that. Pick the underdog and you win, oof,
Oh yeah.
that's some big money.
I'm not big on horse racing.
Nah.
I don't know.
Hey, Wicks, down there is dog racing still real big?
The casino next to my house that had hound racing. I think they stopped it. I think they sold it to another casino.
Really?
Yeah, they used to when I moved to Miami. Yeah, they used to do hound racing. We'd go over there and be like dog hound. And then the Gulf Stream wasn't too far from me, and they do like really big thoroughbred races that aren't part of the Triple Crown. Like, you know, there's other horse races. Then there used to be like right down the block from my house, like literally less than 3 blocks.
So you're not originally from Florida?
No, I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm from New York.
Oh wow.
I was born in Ukraine. I'm Ukrainian.
Oh.
I was born in Ukraine, and then when I came to New York when I was little. And like a decade ago, I moved to Miami.
Yeah, Ukraine's getting crazy right now. I have
Yeah.
one of my friends from Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh man, my heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
Shouldn't last too long, but sucks.
Tell you what, I've always wanted to live in Florida.
I never
Yeah.
wanted to leave New York, and then I got a little bit older, and I was like, wow, get me the fuck out of here. And then I visited
Yeah.
Miami once. You know how I came to Miami one time? Like, my first time ever in Florida is the stupidest story ever. It's a friend of mine calls me up, and he's like, yo, come pick me up. We'll go smoke a highway blunt. We'll go smoke a joint on the highway.
You
Back
guys
then, it
ended
was
up
a
in
fucking
Florida?
blunt. So I pick him up, and it's one of my boys. He was like the first dude I used to ride bikes with. Like, we bought our bikes at 17 together, and like our motorcycles, and we were just after motorcycles. We used to come out in the evening, right? I'd never smoke on a bike. I'd never smoke or drink, but afterwards, at the end of a good riding day, come out and smoke. So we were already home. He calls me. He's like, "Pick me up. We're gonna go. Let's go smoke a blunt." I pick him up, and we just we hopped on the highway, just smoke a blunt. We're talking. He's like, "Hey, you want to go to Florida?" Like, what do you mean go to Florida? It's fucking 1 a.m. You need to go home and sleep. It's another dumb idea. He's like, "Nah, let's go to Florida. I know people there." I was like, "What?" And then I thought about it as we're coming back, right? We got off the highway, made a U-turn coming back towards our neighborhood. I was like, "You know what? Fuck it, let's go. It's 2 a.m. I'm gonna go home right now, grab my shit, drop you off, go home." I went home, grabbed my shit, got back in the car, called him. I was like, "Yo, you didn't change your mind yet?" He's like, "No, no, no, I'm waiting for you outside." I came, picked him up, 3 in the morning. we're we're on the Verrazano Bridge, getting out of New York, going to
What is it, like
Jersey, hopping on the
20
95.
hours? 20 hours,
Yeah,
19 hours?
it took us 19 to get there, and I
Yeah,
remember the ride back was like 17. We booked it.
yeah.
Got a ticket in Georgia, got a ticket coming out of Florida. It was crazy.
I drove from Massachusetts down to Florida, there and back with the kids in a minivan. Oh,
It's
it was
terrible.
the worst thing in the world.
It's terrible
It's
with
a
the
long
kids
way.
in a minivan
Yeah,
with the
in
wife.
a
You can't
minivan. Yes.
smoke, can't do nothing.
Dude, and every time I let her drive, she'd be falling asleep. I'm like, I can't even sleep.
Yeah, can't
I'm
trust you.
like, no, nope, can't trust you. I gotta drive.
That's
And
how
then
I
even when
feel.
you are driving and they're asleep, you start thinking, you
I
get a
don't
bit
trust
pissed off.
anyone
Like,
driving
them
except
kids.
me.
Yeah, me too. I'm one of those too.
We go to places like, nah, I'm
Nightmare.
driving.
Yeah, I always drive.
One time I was tired and I had a girlfriend of mine. We was heading to Florida. And I said, "Would you mind driving for a while?" I said, "I'm dead tired. I'm gonna get a nap." She said, "Yeah, I'll drive for a little bit." So I get over in the passenger side and I close
Oh,
my eyes. And then she bumps me. She says, "Wake up." I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Here, I'm getting sleepy." She said, "Here, then you need to drive." I said, "All right." She drove 23 miles.
sounds about
Sleepy.
right.
It's a half hour.
I mean, I just now closed my eyes like 10 minutes before that. And she said, "Here, I'm tired. You take over." I'm like, wow.
Nah, I don't
She had a
know.
nice ass, though.
It's all right then.
that's, that's
It's
the only
not
thing that
worth it.
saved her
It's not worth it.
from that. Right.
If we flip here after grabbing this liquidity on this hourly and
Nice.
we start closing above here, we might have some off the rip positions.
That'll do.
Because look, now the 4 hours got a bottom wick. We didn't break the previous 4 hour. All right, we're start closing above here. We're not gonna look for a bottom wick, right? Unless maybe it's the 30. We'll see. Let's just see if we can close above now.
It's
This is a
quite
nice.
nice where that week tapped as well
Yeah.
on the
We remember
4
we
hour.
just spoke about this, the 16, 15 levels on the next hourly candle.
Mm,
'Cause it comes into these areas before it drives up. I honestly thought that we were gonna get something like this. Something like this before we start driving up. I thought we were gonna come down some roughly to these areas and then
Yeah.
oh, we'll see.
Wonder if I can get in double if I log in on my phone. If I can get in twice.
Oh,
Trying.
on two different accounts?
Two different, yeah, I'm on two devices now. Nice. So I can still see it on my phone and on my
Oh, see the stream.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Now I can see it, yeah. Because I went upstairs on my headset and I
Sell your
just
access.
checked my phone. I'm like, oh, I can see it.
It's by
No,
your
but
name.
it was connected. Yeah, it was connected. So I didn't have to like wait for you to let me in. It was already in. So
Yeah.
it's just like one access. Nice.
This is nice. It's a good way.
Yeah,
Let's see.
honestly, watching you and Don, man, you guys are the ones that gave me the patience, man, because I was on that 1 minute, in and out, in and out. 10 pips out,
1 minute?
5 pips
That's
out. Yeah, 1 minute, one
I've
minute.
never
Like,
traded the 1 minute.
uh,
It
dude,
sounds like
yeah,
scary.
it's once you watch it for a while, like, and you understand the higher. See, I can see the higher time frame structure on the 1 minute by the ranges, by the amount of candles. So like, I can see we're in a 15-minute downtrend or a 30-minute
Uh-huh.
uptrend, so just by watching it from a long time. But
You all ever watch Raja? He don't even like using a 5 minute.
mm,
I,
yeah,
I,
he's funny. It's funny.
to each their own, you know. He understands price action. He's he's got his own way of interpreting it. I think there's a lot of nuances that that I think he's too stubborn to use or to understand. It's hard to teach an old
I've
dog
seen
new
him.
tricks.
Yeah, I've seen him jump to the 5 minute when he's like in a trade or some in the news and shits. He's like he looks at
No,
the 5 minute.
no, it's
He'll
not
look
even
at it.
just a 5 minute. It's just adjusting to fake. I've seen him trade, whereas it's just clearly obvious where we'd never would take a trade. I mean,
Yeah.
he would see something where we would never even consider positions, even though we're both trading price action. So funny.
I actually put.
I see other
Yeah,
streamers trying to interpret how we trade and try to
yeah,
do it on their streams, and it just
yeah.
it
It
falls
doesn't work.
apart.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? When we had the news on Friday, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna open up a 10K, a quick 10K. It was like $90, funded challenge, and I didn't go big. I was still trading like a half a lot, quarter lot. So I waited till the news. Well, no, I put a sell stop at 2032, and I forget where we're at. We're like 2040 or something, and so it started dumping, and I'm waiting. I'm looking at my 8 cap, and I'm like, what? It says pending, 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 and I'm like, oh boy, what the hell is gonna happen here? And uh, and then it fills me at 2023, 90 pip slippage to the good thing that price was going down and it stayed going down.
Golly.
Dude, filled me at 2023. I just left there. I said, fuck it, I'm already in there. I think it's gonna keep going down. And it went down. I think I closed at 208. And I
Scary.
only had it was only a quarter lot though, so but I'm up 6% on that 10K. So I only need
Good
400
for
more
you.
bucks. Yeah.
You get funded 10K, one trade, 5%, 6%.
Yeah.
There's your money for a 100K account. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, you're trading six figures, and
True.
sky's the limit. Shouldn't be difficult. Like I said, you just have to
You
know how
have to
to
take the
trade.
right trade. Yeah,
Well, you
take the
gotta know
right
how to
trade.
trade.
Yeah, you gotta know how to trade.
If you know how to trade, if you know what nuances to look for, you can be pretty confident in your challenge. But like I said, first learn how to trade. Otherwise, these challenges just waste of money.
I know. I learned the hard way, but I was too stubborn. Like I just kept doing it. I was like, you know what? I started off with like 100K, then I worked my way down, and then I worked my way back up, which I should have started small in the beginning. But I would bring it up 5, 6%, 7%, and then lose it all. And then, something would happen, something else would happen. Just over trading. Over trading got me every time. Until I finally learned. I finally was like, you know what? You just gotta stop, man. Just
Yeah,
take it easy.
stop. Just stop. Sounds simple.
Yeah.
Just stop.
You just got to eyeball your setups.
Because my entries were great. I was getting the best entries. And sometimes I would, how then you would go through that phase. You're like, oh, I finally held that entry in the first trade I took this morning. I could have held it forever. And then you get all these different phases you go through. It's
Yeah,
it's an emotional roller
I don't
coaster.
get those emotions anymore, but like I know what you're talking about. Just sounds so
Yeah.
weird saying that. I don't get that anymore, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Like it just slowly over time that goes away. You don't even think about it. Like I don't even think about that until you just brought it up. Like holy shit, I used to go through all that, and it slowly goes away. You don't even notice it. Like
That's why a lot of people say the back testing is no good because, you can't predict their future when you're back testing. But when it's all done, that's when you start going through, well, if I would have held it longer, I could have made more. And then you go to a live market, you try that shit and then just smacks you right in the face.
it's counterintuitive in the live market. You'll hold a whole bunch of drawdown just to close at 4 pips in profit. It's weird in the live market where people they they think Oh, there's no difference, not at all. But skin in the game changes mindset all the time. I withdrew everything, so they closed the account and applied for a new 200K, but they didn't let me because they didn't like the fact that I withdrew everything. They only offered me a 50K account. Who's that? Oh, the funded trader account. You can trade news on the funded. I think FTMO doesn't allow you to trade news.
Now I think if FTMO shut you down like 10 minutes before or something like that.
No, there's just it's a rule. Like you can do it, but if you do it, they'll take away your account.
Yeah, so like they don't they don't care so much in your challenge phase, but like if you want to trade the news, you have to get a swing account, which only gives you 1 to 30 leverage, and then you can trade the news and you can hold the weekends. If you want to get a 1 to 100 regular account, you can't trade the news. They'll take you 2 minutes before or 2 minutes after. They'll take
Two
your
minutes.
minutes.
account.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Take it. So it's either you want the 1 to 100 leverage or you want to trade the news. But if not, just it's usually wait a couple minutes after anyways. Fine.
Oh, we got overtime. Panthers Leafs.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
It was a good basketball
I
game
can't
today.
believe the Bruins went down like that, man. I'm still pissed about
I
that.
can. It's the equivalent of Golden State losing their 73-win year in basketball. Same thing. It happens a lot.
I know.
It's the overexcitement. And the thing is, the playoffs are a completely different beast. Also, the teams that make
Yeah.
it to the playoffs, they come prepared, right? So at that point, it doesn't matter. 1 or 8, like, especially in hockey. I think in basketball, it's a little different. Skill really plays a role, and it does in hockey too. But like because hockey is a lot more random because of the puck bounces and all of that, I think the parity in high school in hockey is better. In basketball, if the Lakers are gonna play the Knicks in the finals, the Lakers are gonna win, right? If Phoenix plays the Knicks, like there's almost no chance. In hockey, there's a chance. All right, what's going on, Range?
Price definitely compressing though. See it like coiling up. Oh wait, tomorrow London is closed.
Yeah,
But
London's
yeah,
close.
bank holiday in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
All good.
Fucking King Charles, that bastard.
So that means that Asia could pull some moves tonight.
That bastard.
Uh, it shouldn't really matter if London's closed or not. We're gonna trade right now, and then New York's open, right? So,
Yeah.
and we're not trading the pound anyway.
Yeah, there's plenty of fucking other ones in Europe open. They're in London.
Like, yeah, London's closed, but like the Euro's open. Germany banks are
Yeah.
open. Everything like there's all the markets
There'll
open.
still be plenty of liquidity.
I mean, if you're trading that specific pair for that
Mhm.
market, then yeah, but we're trading gold, right?
Yeah. Gold moves everywhere with everything.
Yeah, even honestly, even during when banks are closed, you'll see gold move a lot. You'll be like, holy shit, we had a bank holiday. How the fuck did we move this much? Because the algos are still running.
True.
The algorithms are still running in the markets, and
Yeah, they don't need to be open, yeah. And especially after the US, if US has a holiday, after that it really moves. I've noticed that too.
need an ashtray. So overtime should be fun. This overtime is going to determine if Don shows up in a good mood or a bad mood tomorrow. Actually, if the Leafs win, Don might not even show up tomorrow.
Is this the last game, right? You said?
No, it's game 3, but they're playing the next 2 games in Florida. Well, tonight and the next game, and Florida won 2 games on the road in Toronto. So,
Oh,
and if they win tonight in overtime, it's gonna be 3-0 in the series. And the next game is
oh,
still in Florida, so they're gonna play it at home, up 3-0.
oh.
But if Toronto wins, then it's 2-1, and they're back in it, right?
Yeah.
2-1. They just need to take one
What
more, and then it's hey back home for game 5 and game 7.
is that? What happened to the Bruins? Weren't they up like 3-0?
No, they
Then
weren't
they
up.
hit the.
No,
No.
they went to game 7. It was like up. They won 2 games.
It,
Florida won two
okay.
games, and then they split a game, and then
Okay. So it was a good all the way. The whole series
yeah, it was pretty even.
was even.
I just think Florida started rolling at the right time. They got the best, I think, U.S. born player in the league, in Kachuk, right? And their goalie just started playing at the right time. Like really, they had a great goalie. He's been great 2 years ago. I don't know what happened last year. Last year was a fluke, but two
Last
years
time
ago,
I remember watching the Bruins, it was Tuca. What's his name? That goalie.
Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, he was playing when I was last time I watched.
Man, that's like it's like last time I watched the Sabres. Last time I watched the Sabres is when Dominic Hasek was in goal. You know how long that shit was?
It
Damn.
was like last time I watched the Bulls was when Michael Jordan won those championships.
Yeah, when MJ was still playing. Got
No, my
copyrighted.
biggest highlights was the Brady Patriots. That was some good football seasons. I used to love
You're
those.
from New England, aren't you?
Yeah,
All right.
those were good
Nobody
games.
says that unless they're from New England. There's no
Yeah.
fan in America that likes that team unless they're from New England.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think every single person in America, like whenever they watch the
Mhm.
Patriots play, right, and it wasn't against their team, they'd always root against the Patriots. Like at some point,
Right.
people were just sick of Brady winning all the time.
I know. But
Yeah, but my
then
Giants
he
got
went
him
and won it
twice.
again.
My Giants
Yeah,
got him
that's true.
twice, baby.
Did.
That catch by Tyree. What? Probably greatest catch with a fucking helmet ever.
I know.
Ball got stuck in his fucking.
Helmet.
Yeah, it's just two of the greatest catches I think in a row he had. He had, and then he had one I think to Plaxico Burris, which is insane, and that won him the game. Yo, what? I didn't believe. I didn't think they could do it, but they did it. I was working when they won the first one against Brady. I was working in a bank. I was doing financial consulting for a big savings bank in New York, and I remember it happened. And the next morning, the the manager of the department of our consulting firm, he walked in there yelling, talking about everybody go home, everybody go home. We got to get ready for the parade. Like, what do you mean go home? I got investors coming in. You go home.
You go.
Weirdo. Yeah, they wanted to close everything. I remember because growing up in New York, the Yankees won a lot, right? So every
Yeah.
time the Yankees win, it'd be fucking crazy in the city. People like cops wouldn't stop nobody. People would be, you get cops on horseback, and people would just be riding on top of their Escalades, not in the car, but on the like outside on the
Yeah.
sunroof,
On
just
the hood
throwing
and shit.
toilet paper everywhere. Like the whole city was covered in toilet paper. It was insane. You go to Bensonhurst, to the Italian neighborhoods, Bay Ridge. Fucking nuts in there. The Italians, they love the Yankees.
They do.
All the cops, all the fire department, the Yankees, man. New York is crazy about the Yankees.
Yeah, they had Jarek D there. Fucking.
Jared Dieter. That's the captain. That's my guy. I used to want to be like him when I was little.
What is it? Is
That's
it
why I played
Jarek or
short.
Derek Jeter?
It's Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter, yeah.
Yeah, the reason
I
I
said
was on
Jarek.
the on my, I was shortstop on my little league squad. Derek Jeter, shortstop and center field. I used to like Ken Griffey. Oh, our music's over. Where's Green? Gold! Wow, the Panthers scored! Woo!
They win?
Yeah, 3-zip. They're gonna
Oh,
be up
shit.
there. Wow, Don's gonna be pissed. He
Bad day
texted
for
me.
Don.
He texted me 2 hours ago talking about, what did he say? Hold on. He texted me 2 hours and he wrote, "Go Leafs, go."
You're gonna be like, yeah, go to Florida.
The Panthers, they're fucking number 8 team, right? Like, they're not supposed to be doing this, and they're gonna go to the Eastern Finals right now after the next game.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
I want to see this goal. I missed it. Yeah, it's craziness right now. 20,000 fans in Florida are on their feet. Yeah, this stadium ain't too far for me. The F1 today, the Grand Prix, that's not too far for me. That's fucking like a 10-minute drive, 8-minute drive.
Oh, they're having that down there too, huh?
It was today. I heard him zooming all day. The whole city's heard.
Oh, they're pumping up back up right now. Let's see. End of 30
Riding up.
minute game. Yeah, 30 minute. New 30 minute.
Yeah, let's see. Wow, 5-hole on a wraparound. The goalie didn't see it. That was so quick.
Sneaked it in.
The
Around the
puck-
net in the back.
Yeah, the puck got dumped in the zone. The goalie turned one way. And meanwhile, the Panthers player was already going the other way around the net. That's crazy. A good goal, but like, the goalie had no chance. Panthers were just quicker.
Yeah, I like it when they let the goalie out and shit, like the 6th man or whatever, and then they just go ham. And
Yeah,
then just
six-
don't let
six
nobody
straight.
don't let nobody else from the other side get that puck, cause when that goalie's out of that net, they'll fucking make it in from way the fuck down there. Easily.
You know, they were down 3-1 to the Bruins, and they won the next 3. They were one
That's what
game
I'm saying.
from
Yeah.
elimination. So, because they won 6 in a row now, right? So that's 3 here and the last 3 in the Bruins. So they're down 3. Damn, they're showing Toronto. They're showing downtown Toronto, and people are like, usually it's crazy celebration, drinking.
Yeah,
It's just-
everybody's pissed.
Everybody's just looking at each other. So what do we do now? Do we just go home?
There's no more partying. It's over.
No party? So we're not going. There's no after party?
Alright,
We're
fuck
not-
it, burn everything.
We're not celebrating anything? Yeah, if this was Philly, it'd be like, yo, fuck it, burn everything. Sorry for anyone
Riot.
from Philly.
Riot.
Yeah, Philly's crazy. That's a fucking fan base you don't want to piss off. I had a friend pick me up. I told this story on stream once. He goes like, yo, I went to, because I was living here in Florida, and I went to New York just to visit a couple of buddies of mine. He calls me, one of my boys calls me up. He's like, yo, I got 2 tickets to the Philly Giants game. You want to come? I'm like, all right, because we're in New York, right? I'm thinking we're going to the Meadowlands, to the Giants Stadium. I get all my Giants gear. I put everything on. We hop on the highway, and he starts driving. I'm like, where the fuck are you going? He's like, to Philly.
It's a away game.
Yeah, and Philly's only like an hour and a half, right? So from Brooklyn, and we go to Philly, and I'm like, why didn't you tell me this shit? He's like, I told you we're going to the Philly Giants game. And he's like, you didn't tell me it was in Philly. He's like, what do you think it was gonna be? I was like, in New York. He's like, yeah, but I'm a Philly fan. What do you think? I'm gonna buy New York? I was like, all right. We get there, and I see like 2 Giants fans getting beat up in the parking lot. Like, they're not getting beat up, but like they're getting stuff thrown at them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo,
You're
give me a
wearing all
green.
your
I'm
Giant
wearing
stuff.
all Giant stuff. I'm like, yo, give me a green jacket. I'm not going in like this. I take his green jacket. I go in, and we're sitting. He bought tickets right behind the Giants bench, the first row. So I'm like, all right, this is perfect, because there's Giants fans, and there's like 6 of us,
Yeah.
8 of us. So I take off the jacket, right, and I'm sitting with them. And first play of the game, Eli to Odell Beckham. On the not first
Wow.
play of the game, first drive of the game. Like, played 3 or 4, we get a touchdown, and the 6 of us start yelling, fucking, and it's dead quiet in the stadium. We're yelling, and we turn around. There's a sea of fucking Eagles fans just staring at us, like ready to kill it. I sat down real quick. And Giants lost that game like 35-7. That was the only time they scored.
Wow.
And I sat down. I put that green jacket, and we had to walk out in like the third quarter because I was like, "Yo, I'm not leaving when this entire sea of Eagles fans. It's fucking crazy in there. They don't play. Like, that's a crazy fan base. Like, they're wild about their sports.
Who do they get? The football teams got who the quarterback from the
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
yeah.
He played for Alabama and then got replaced in the championship game by Tua.
Wow.
And then he went to, I think, Oklahoma, where you go, and he did really well there. Okay, I'll go in a little bit. What happened? The thing scratched you with the retainer? Is it bleeding? You still have to wear it. Do your exercise, wear it. I'm gonna let you. I'll call your dentist. I'll let him know. Remind me tomorrow, please. Because if I call the dentist right now, he's probably never gonna want to see us. Thank you. What do you want? No, go lay down. I'll be there soon. Hold on. Hold on, gang. I gotta grab yogurt for my kids. Market doesn't want to go anywhere right now, huh?
40. I mean, they're creeping up. They're creeping up a little bit slowly, but
It's a good game too. Phoenix, Denver right now, third quarter. I'm rooting for Phoenix this year. LA got theirs. Golden State got theirs. I'm rooting for CP3 to get his. It's time. Four-hour flip. Yeah, 4 hour keeps flipping. It's irrelevant. It's got to close outside these wicks. All of these wicks on the 4 hour.
I hate it when that setup right there. You got wicks, big long candle, big long rejects. Like, oh, then you got more wicks.
Zoom in to get more info. But trust the higher time frame info more, right?
Yeah.
The small time frame gives you more info, but the higher time frame is what you should put more trust in. We want to avoid all these wicks.
Well, these are the times you're waiting definitely for a good direction, because it's been stuck for so long.
I mean, yeah, there's no, right now you're 50-50, go up, go down. We have no confirmation of anything.
Yeah, if they don't make a move like 10 hour, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then they're just going to do it. 2 a.m.
Interesting. On the 30 here, look, we made the top wick here for the previous 30 candle. We're going to flip, might fill this 30 wick down. If that happens, that'd be a pretty good indication of volume if it breaks this candle here. This is interesting, but it's very probable here based on the way we're printing. I would expect this 30 to fill the wick down. Will we have enough volume to
Their
actually
top work
continue
below
here?
in that previous 30 or no? A little tiny one, little tiny.
The previous 30 doesn't have a top wick. That's not a top wick here. There's no top wick here. I mean, it's a tell sign of where this next candle should go, but it's not a confirmation for any kind of trade or setup, because a candle should go somewhere doesn't mean it will go somewhere. And once it gets somewhere, that's when we have to act on it, not when we think it should go somewhere. But once it gets where we think it should go, that's when we'll act on it.
Yeah, that's why I always think, like, they're always trying to make you think it's gonna go one way, and so they could do the opposite. Sometimes.
Don't fall for the impulse trap. Like, if you think it's going somewhere, you need to get in it.
Yeah, it's usually the wrong way.
Might not be the wrong way, but it's typically not the right time. It might be going, but it maybe not at that time.
Then you gotta sit at drawdown, yeah.
Drawdown or in trickle up, trickle down candles, range. It's just, you know, the more time you spend in the market, the more risk you're, open to. So you don't want to be in the market for a long period. You want to be in and out. The less risk you're open to, the better off you'll be. There we go. So 30 working like it should.
As long as we don't get back up into that body of the previous 30, that's a good sign.
Good sign would be just for us to drive down and close. Well,
Take that wick.
we want to be outside these ranges. If we're not, by maybe 10, 15, 10, 20.
Yeah.
We'll call it a session.
What we got for news this week? I think we got PPI Wednesday. Monday, there you go. Oh, I got the stupid guys talking again. They got the interviews with some of the speakers just because of the interest rates, but those don't do nothing.
Oh, we're clean for the week. There's.
And Wednesday's just got the CPI 8:30. Monday, Tuesday should be alright.
This is good. We're gonna see volume this week. We might sit here for Monday and Tuesday talking about why we're ranging, but still get positions.
Last week's low was 1977.
I don't know. I think we should retest 2000. No,
That was a good resistance too when we were below it.
we should retest 2000, 2002 areas before he makes his decision. Since we closed below this range, I figure we're gonna retest the lows before we test the highs.
Yeah.
For us to have a confirmation that we're retesting the lows, we need to get a closure below 2011.
This range 2 breakout. Is that what you guys call that?
Above 2019?
No, below. If we go below, would that be a range 2
No,
breakout to the lows? Or
No, range 2 breakout will be for the buys. We're bearish for the day.
buys?
So you have your range 1,
That's 1.
your range
That's
2. Anything above here, high probability of continuing up. But until then, anything that closes here, or anything that closes coming up here, has a high probability of coming back down from range 2 to range 1 than it does closing over here. Right? So this closure here, coming from range 1 to range 2, is more likely to be followed by this, right? Which would be a fake out. And you drive up and you'll drive back down to fill the range. This is more likely to happen than this, right? This red candle is more likely to happen. But if you're coming from range 2 and closing like this, right? So if it's like this,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
if it's like this, then it's more likely that you're going to continue going up. So from range 1 into range 2, more likely you're coming back into range 1. But if you don't come back into range 1 and end up coming up above range 2, it's more likely you're going to go up instead of coming back down into range 2. You get it? So that's why we wait for a range 2 breakout, because while you're in range 2 still, while we're still in this range, while we are where we are, probability dictates that this right here is a more likely outcome than us breaking up, right? This right here is more likely than us coming up above 2019.6, but it's not guaranteed. And in the off chance that we do come up above 2019 here,
And that's the trend too, right? Like the
then
trend
we
is
are good
down,
here.
obvious. The
And
big
we're
trend
bearish for
is-
the day, yeah.
Yeah.
So the range 2 breakouts are for us to be able to take positions against the
that.
trend. So it all came about not for positions. How this came about was we were trying to avoid fake outs. And we took a really bad trade on stream in like 01, beginning of 01, like a good year into stream. And we were like, this is what we're expecting. We're expecting to be bearish here. We're expecting to be bearish here, right? And then we're expecting market to come back down to range 1, right? We're expecting this. And then we get this bullish closure right here. And instead of
Breaks through.
us waiting for these sells, we take buys. And then the market does what we were expecting the whole day. It comes back down here and fakes out and keeps going. Meanwhile, we just took buys, stops us out. We're like, how do we start figuring out? Like, we had this the whole session we were talking about. We're like, wait, we got this. We were just talking about it being bearish. Why the fuck did we take buys there when it broke into that range? And we started paying attention to it, and over time, back testing, forward testing, testing the live markets, we figured out that the probabilities of us driving up here were very minimal. What's going to happen more often is it's going to come back down in range here, right?
It's like the same thing they did to the left, just in reverse, because they came from up in the left side. From the right side, you came from the top.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So over here, we were like, all right, so see, all we needed to do was just wait that one more candle. And then if we just waited, we would have seen that it would have either done this, or if it ranges here, it's eventually going to do one of these things. It's going to close outside the range. And now you're in range 2. Once this happens, the probability of it coming back down here is much smaller than it is filling this range to come up.
Wow.
It's just probabilities.
Yeah.
Right?
That's all it is.
So coming into range 1, back in from range 1 into range 2, you're more likely to come back into range 1. But from range 2 to range 3, you're more likely to continue filling range 3.
I get it. Yeah, see, I always thought when it said range 2 breakout was because you were in range 2 and you're breaking out of range 2. You know what I mean? But it's into range 2.
Range 2 breakout is you're breaking out of range 2, but against the daily trend. Right?
Oh, I got it.
So range is right here. This is range 1. This is range 2. This is the range 2 breakout. This is the fake out. Coming back here, you faked out to continue with the daily trend. And over here, you broke out the other way. So when you're in range 2, a lot of times you'll see buys above, sells below here. Like that happens a lot in Asia because it's the pullback session. That's why we get buys above. So all you guys are doing just buying above this zone, selling below that zone? No, not really. It's only because it's a range 2. If we were in range 1 here, right, it would be sells below here or back into range 1, and then buys all the way up above over here if we were in this area.
Now, is there only always range 1 and 2s? Or is there ever 3s?
No, 3 is just the range outside of range 2 against the daily buys. Doesn't matter, range 3, 4, 5. All that matters is once you've broke out here and you started coming up here, you are now bullish. You have to understand that. And now, even though the daily is bearish, now you would need a range 2 breakout for the sells. So now you have to, in order for you to take a position, now you can't take this position coming down here. You have to wait for range. Now this becomes range 1, range 2, anything below here, right, will be a range 2 breakout now. Once you get all of this printed, you have to understand, so now you need a range 2 breakout coming back the other way, not just back into the range here because it's with the daily buys.
And then that's why when it dropped so quickly and it just breaks down into that, keeps going, you don't want to just jump in because you have no closures inside the range.
Sometimes it depends in relation to the other time frames.
Yeah.
So also what you're doing is once there's been a big move somewhere out of that zone, the next point when it starts doing whatever it wants to do, that's when you're considering the next range 1 to start forming, right?
once it breaks out of a range and continues driving like it's doing, you guys can also draw in the chat.
Like,
by the way,
like that whole
but
drop,
if,
right?
right here, this drop, right?
Yeah.
That's it. So now you have your support. You wait for a resistance to form, right? So let's go to 5 here. You had a resistance, support, and then you had a resistance formed over here at this area. Well, you had a resistance formed, then you had a support formed. This created a range. We came back up here, and we closed above this resistance. Created another range. We found another support here.
And then you're just choosing like,
And then
obviously
I'm waiting
depends
for it
what
to,
time frame.
and
Sorry.
it's not just choosing time frame. It's so it's got to make sense on all the time frames.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get at. So you're like, the point where you're considering the range is where it makes the first key sign that it's just reversed a few candles.
Yeah,
the
the first support it
And then you're like,
made, it's your range. But it's not the first support that it made when you're coming onto the market, because let's say we got on the market, we turned on the session, and we are,
in the middle of nowhere.
well, let's say we're right here,
Yeah.
right? And now we come down and we form a support. This doesn't make this range 1. This is range 1 still, even though we just got on the market here. It's range 1 in relation to the daily bias and overall price.
To the last big move to that area.
Last big move, but really in relation to the daily candle.
Got you. And you know how do you consider ranges overlapping each other? Or how do you sort of perceive that, or got to think about it?
Well, you just draw them on the hourly or the 30.
But I'm just saying, like,
Go to
how
the
do
hourly
you...
and well, watch. Go to the hourly and the 30. This is our range. Right here, hourly and the 30. Oh, wait. This is our range. Nothing else exists, right? And then you go to the 5.
Exactly.
To pretend these ranges on top don't exist outside of this 2017 and 2014. Then you go to the 5. You realize that there's closures on the 5 above these areas, which are these wicks, right? All these wicks on the hourly. So now you start zoning in, and you move your hourly level to here, right? That's our levels on the 5, right?
Tuning it up
and then you go left in the market and see if there's any more play in that area, and you see what the difference is to that play, and if it's worth taking a position or just wait for a closure outside. And you have about 6 pips of difference here. So you're much better off, because you go back, there's a level right above it, right? So you're much better off taking the buy right here at 2019 instead of right here 2018.
Yeah, because it's just that a little bit more valid,
Yeah.
a little bit extra.
So that's how
Your
I
wicks,
tend to-
so your wicks on your higher time frame are just closures on lower time frame.
Yeah,
well, not always, but yeah, because you
not
could get a
quite.
wick on the 5
Yeah.
and the hourly, right? But you generally want to, you'll get a level there in the middle of a higher time frame wick. You'll get a level on the 5, and we try to adjust. And then you want to see not a level that you closed at, but a level you drove from. Oh, hold on, chat. What's up?
Oh, this is good. These Sunday streams are gonna be good for understanding this better, without all the YouTube people in, you know.
Yep.
It's not it's not really, yeah, the idea is not, even for the New York session or the regular Asian sessions, the idea here is not for you guys to get a, like, every time you trade you want to win, right? You want to, but the idea here is for you guys to learn this every day. You come into the New York session, you come into the Asian session, you come to the Sunday session, and the goal is for you to understand what we're doing so you can just apply this on your own. I don't come in here expecting a trade every session. I come in here expecting, you know, valuable conversation, something we can, you know, something I can pass along and you guys can utilize.
The more I learn this, the less I want to trade. Like, not that I want to trade, but the less
You're becoming more disciplined.
Exactly. I don't want to jump in as quick as I used to.
The less the charts
And lose.
Yeah.
And the charts are ranging too. But yeah.
Wait.
And that isn't necessarily like a trading skill. It's just because now you have all this understanding.
You have a skill. Now it's all
just
about
don't get the
applying.
FOMO.
I mean, you have the knowledge. All it's about applying it. Once you can apply the knowledge you have, that's the skill.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to trade every day. Like if you get a good trade 2-3 times a week, even once a week, like that's good, you know.
I mean,
Just
once you have
give
a
what the
small,
market
you have a
gives you.
smaller account, people really want to trade every day. But like there's a reason everybody on Instagram that's got like, or everyone on Instagram, but
Bigger
everyone that's
account.
like big traders, they're not on every single day, or it's not necessary. It's really unnecessary. Like,
They're basically social media influencers that have just got trading as their little
but like
nuance to
real
selling their
traders,
thing.
like I promise, Don probably would not trade every single day if he wasn't streaming. He can.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, some days you can miss a day or two. It really doesn't affect the overall success or your overall being, right? Because missing 20 pips is not going to affect how you're going to, you know, it's not going to affect your life, right? You can't go out and get a Lambo after these 20 pips, or neither are you going to lose a Lambo after these 20 pips. One, you know, taking a day off, taking a week off, it's really irrelevant. And once you build up your account and you build up your capital, it's like, now I got $1,080. Now, you know, I build up my account to 500,000, and then you made sure you don't miss a day, and now you're like, oh no, I got $500,800. Like, it's not a huge fucking
Ah,
difference.
shit.
Whether you had 490,000 or you had 505,000, or like, it's not like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not it. Like if you have 10,000 or you have 30,000, that's a big fucking difference.
Well, really, you have to just always think of it in percentages of what you're doing, not the numbers.
Exactly.
Like from starting small, you can't just think, oh, what about I'm not making that much per trade. But if you look at the percent, you're like, fuck me. That's what I've been doing.
Once you're up there in the money, it's irrelevant. You don't really, like, you realize that, like, no matter how much you make here, like you've made yours, right? It's like, it's not gonna, like, an extra $1,000 is not gonna affect the rest of your day, when like that $1,000 is a very small percentage of what you're actually doing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why people are like, oh, you lost $2,000, that's break even. Like, yeah. To Don, it's like,
because you're thinking in percent and they're just thinking in numbers.
They're like, damn,
like
that's double my
dollars.
account. For him, it's like less than 0.5% of the account. It's like, if this was Bezos, he could have been break even probably at like 100 grand. Like, damn, you break even at a minus 100,000. How you do that?
Right.
The minus what?
Yeah, trade 1,000 lots, right? You'd be down 100K, 10 pips. Yeah, just one trade. Alright, we just had our hourly close. Closed bearish back in range below this level. And below this level.
Yeah, it's just pissing about, isn't it?
We're just printing side by side. Look this is
our
session. This is our entire
look.
session. We pulled up here, pulled down, broke the low, broke the high.
Yeah, that's interesting.
These are 2 hours that we've been on right here. These two candles. No driving. They're not following each other. They're just printing next to each other.
But it could be leading up to a bit of something good tomorrow.
Yeah.
Pesos would be break even at 10 mil. Word. How do you take a 10 mil loss but break even on the journal? It's the percentage, baby.
Yeah, I was watching a short from that trader Umar or something. I forget who he is, but he's a really big trader now.
No clue.
He lost 17K on S&P because he took a short, right, and it went against him. So he hit a stop, and then the next trade he had 96,000. So he's like, yeah, I'm good. You know, yeah, he lost 17,000 that first trade, but then the next trade he made 60 something profit. So
yeah, I remember watching Ted trade. Ted lost like 30 grand in a split second. He's like, oh well, just a Honda Civic. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it could have been worse. Could have been a Benz. It's just a Honda Civic. I was like, all right. Next few trades, and then he didn't lose a trade for like the rest of it. He was like up $1 million in a week. It's like, fuck, lose a Civic, buy a jet, and I couldn't understand it back then. So I just really started paying attention to like positions he opens and how he trades. That was the only way I could like pick up on nuances. None of the explanations, nothing would ever work. Only watching it. That was a big help too when Roger was streaming. Roger's streams, he'd bring Ted on and he'd give him a platform to explain himself.
Oh, nice.
That's before Ted ever used to come onto our streams, and then started.
Raj did a little FOREX simulation last night at like 11 or Friday night at almost midnight.
I don't know. Yeah, we've done simulations. I think a few months back, Don and I did a Saturday morning simulation.
Yeah, it actually like I seen it a lot different. Like it was just crazy. Like I was just like, oh yeah. Like I opened my eyes to a couple things that he does, like 30-minute and 1 hour.
Yeah.
That I didn't realize before. But he's funny. He be clowning the YouTube guys. He's like, what? When they ask him questions and stuff. Oh.
It's like the fact that he had a platform and there's some valuable information there, and there were valuable streamers. And when Ted used to come on there, a lot of people would joke, but there would be massive value just in some of the explanations, and then knowing where he took positions and looking at the market on my own charts, be like, what's he looking for here? That was kind of the breakdown I used to do. Like, what the fuck was he looking for here that he had an advantage here?
Yeah. What I normally do is do like my analysis, because I'm UK time, so I'm on a bit earlier, and then obviously I wait and see if it matches up, and like over time it's just got better and better to like now I'm pretty much, not every time, but pretty much there.
But like this was a while back, so over the last 3-4 years, I think we've optimized to such a level that like I don't think any streamer before us or any trading brand before Devious and before Don, before I don't think anyone's gone this in depth or gotten this precise in the markets. I think profitability wise and win rate wise, I don't think anyone's doing it on the same level that we are. It's just I tell Don, he's like, nah, you're being conceited. I was like, no one's really doing this at this level that we are. And then he's like, yeah, you know what? And we haven't even turned it up. You're right. He's like, we've kind of been cruising through this year. We haven't really locked in because we didn't have to. Like, it's not like we're taking some losses and we really need to lock it in. No, we've just been cruising through the year. It's just been kind of a breeze.
Yeah, the gains are going up, so it's working, right? That's it.
The whole lot of it's good though, because other channels, there's not really a vibe or anything.
I can't tell you how many other influencers and how many like other streamers hit us up like on the DMs or emails like, yo, let's collab, let's work, like let's do this, let's do that, Then you see, you see him trying to implement stuff that we do. It's really funny. It's funny when I hear other streamers say celery play. It's hilarious because we made that up on stream. When people use range 2 breakouts, we've literally made all these up on stream. And it's so funny when I hear other people in the industry talk about these things like it's like normal, like an engulfing candle type thing. Like it's been in the industry forever.
Yeah, and it's people that have been watching you guys stream for a couple of years and now they're on their own.
Not even, like there's streamers that have been doing this separately. People have been doing it separately away from us, like other streamers, and like they bumped into us. Like they were bigger than us before us.
Yeah.
But now just get recognition. It's funny, I'll turn on a stream, I see range 2 breakout, I'm like, really? Nice.
Oh,
And
that's what I
it's
was gonna
dope.
ask you.
It's
When
dope.
you say vantage point, when you say we filled our vantage point or we've
Advantage
done
point,
that,
yeah.
what vantage point? What do you mean by that?
Advantage point is just the
Yeah, a bit of
very next
resistance.
resistance, the very next
Hmm.
support. Like if we were gonna take a buy here, which we would never do, right? If we're taking a buy,
In the range or something?
if we closed above here, we took a buy, right? This is our advantage point. And the advantage point here is only like 5-6 pips. It sucks, right? But that's our advantage point. So this is the area where you'd have to manage risk. And the reason I'm not taking a buy here is because I don't want to go break even at 5 pips or 6 pips. You know, because this is gold. The market will fucking move. You know what I mean?
And even when that gap's bigger, say 15 pips, it can really, really easily just
Fill
get
it.
you in.
So
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
you really want a bigger range. Like I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind having a 10-15 pip advantage point on the 5, because a lot of time on the hourly is just a clean drive.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that. So if it's a clean drive on the hourly and the 5 is giving you a resistance, chances are you're going to fill the hourly range. But if the hourly also has a level there, and the 5 and the third other time frame,
better
high
to
chance of
wait.
rejection. So advantage points are where you want to manage risk. And ideally those advantage points are 20, 30, 40 pips, because it's a lot easier to take 10 pips out of 40 than it is 10 out of 15.
Yeah, exactly.
You want 90% of that whole move, or you want to cash just 10% of that whole move and be cool with it, or a quarter percent, 25%. So you're putting yourself in a better position to succeed, right? To get more lucky, because you're gonna take a higher time frame range, which has more room, and it's easier to take a small piece out of more than out of less. Right, 10, 12, 10, 15, we are ranging. We're coming down. This, we might still get some positions within this hourly if this really starts driving down, but to be completely honest, that's going to be a while. It's going to be, we're going to have to come down here, come back up. Like, yeah, I honestly,
Hardly any volume anyway.
and then London's closed, France is closed, right? So, this might be a New York position. Yeah, I'm not even gonna look at the charts for pre-London. I'm gonna get some rest. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna go smoke a joint, go to sleep.
Almost sleep.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna call it a stream here. Thank you for showing up. I mean,
No, thank you.
discussion's great, but hopefully we get some positions on these Sunday sessions. What's going on? It's a Monday in Asia, right? So it's still the same weekday right now.
They're just getting out of bed and stretching their legs.
It's funny, the 2 weeks I didn't do the Sunday as unfiltered, it moved. In the very next stream I come back, doesn't move.
It doesn't move.
It's alright, our last unfiltered, we still got a position, right? You guys were here on Wednesday?
Yeah.
When we did the London session. Anybody caught those positions? You guys took?
Yeah.
Awesome, so you got those dubs also. Alright, awesome. I'm going to call it a stream, guys. I'll see you tomorrow on the New York session live stream with Don.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
Alright.
fellas. I'll see
Thank
you.
you.
See ya.
Yep, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Right.
Oh, Dan, I'm sorry. How long were you in there in the waiting room? I just let him in. I'm sorry. Right, next time, if you're in the waiting room, just write in the YouTube, hey, I'm in the waiting room, and I'll let you in. I'm sorry. All right. Have a good night, everybody.